You're listening to the Off Harbor and Maine podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Off Harbor and Maine podcast. I'm Joel Covey, coming to you from the Tropical Lanai Studios here in Orange County, California. Joining me via the interwebs are my close friends Beth.
Hey guys.
Matt.
Hey everyone.
And Derick.
Hi there.
All right. Well, let's go around the hub real quick. Just want to see what everyone's drinking tonight. We'll start off with Beth.
Oh, tonight I went cocktail. And I went with a strawberry gin and tonic. It is delicious.
Nice.
Look, I have fresh strawberries.
Looks delicious.
Yeah, it was really good.
That does sound
You went
really
all
good.
out.
I did.
What do you
It's
have
really
there, Matt?
I made a michelada with the Stone Buenavesa, and I am drinking it in my fancy color-changing Starbucks cup that I had somebody send me all the way from Utah. Thanks,
gosh.
It's
Sabrina
pretty
and Joel.
fancy. Thanks
He
for what?
can't stop talking about
I
it.
said thanks, Sabrina and Joel.
Oh.
They listen to the podcast.
Oh, well, hello,
Hi,
Sabrina.
and Joel.
Hey guys.
Thanks for
Thanks.
listening.
Thanks for making Matt happy. He's been bitching forever about that.
Yeah.
There's a huge smile on his face.
And Derick, what do you have?
I made myself a screwdriver tonight,
Mm.
Nice.
and it's actually
Simple.
awfully tasty. Yeah, pretty simple, but does the trick.
There you go.
Not as fancy as Beth's, but it'll do.
It was really easy, guys. It was really easy. I mean, it was
Hey.
just basically strawberries with some sugar, so the syrup comes out,
Uh-huh,
the juice, and then gin and tonic. Very easy.
Mm.
Nice. Well, I tried to be fancy, and then I realized I really don't have that much in my cupboard to make stuff. So I tried to make a drink off of the Nomad Lounge. I thought it'd be fitting for today, but instead, I just pulled some rum. Vicky had some kind of passion fruit drink thing. She told me a bunch of what it was, but she got from Mod Pizza. I'm like, well, that will blend well with some rum. So I threw in some Bacardi rum because I didn't have anything better. Some tangerine rum,
Mm.
a little splash of Campari, and then I filled the rest up. Oh, some lime juice. So I had 3/4 fresh lime juice, and then I added the juice just so I have more to drink for the
Nice.
podcast.
Did you
Awesome.
name it?
I have not named it yet. I took a picture of it outside. I'll use it in like a post, but I'll come up with a name for
Ooh,
it. For the
stealing
post.
something from me, huh?
Why can't we
Good
all
idea.
do it, Beth?
No, it's a good idea. I think everyone should do it.
You're not messing around tonight, Joel.
No.
Good stuff.
I thought it'd be good for the night where we're talking bars. So with
Definitely.
that,
so.
everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Episode 5.
Woo.
Guys, there's fresh strawberries in my drink. I have to chew it. I apologize.
I'll
I hope you
for a
do that
little bit.
throughout
I
the
didn't
show.
plan that out very well.
Well, we wanted to start off with something a little bit different than our normal scheduled programming. We wanted to start off with something new. We wanted to talk about something good, something positive, mainly. Hopefully every episode, and maybe not everyone will have something to say, but we're going to call this segment, thanks to Matt, Not Everything is Shitty. Beth, did you come up with something that isn't shit?
I did. It was a struggle. No, it really wasn't. Actually, since the last time we recorded, as you guys know, I started a new job that I have
Yay.
really been enjoying. I have a new client that I'm working with, and
Who
he's
seems
really
positive
cool.
too.
He's very positive, and he shares a lot of the same values that I do, and I've just really enjoyed it so far. So I've been really excited for that, bringing a little extra money and still get to stay at home with the kiddo, and it's been really good, and I'm very excited for it.
That's awesome. Good for that. Congrats, Beth.
Thank you.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? Did you have anything?
I'm just excited because next week we're having my sister's baby shower. It's my first nephew.
Oh, that's something good.
Uncle Matt.
So I've been doing a lot of shopping. I had a lot of stuff in an Amazon cart that I finally just bit the bullet and purchased. And I'm not done yet, but I'm definitely going to be pushing a lot of my interests onto this child.
Yes.
So, you know, He's gonna be dressed
Well,
dressed to avenge, if you catch my drift.
Nice.
Yes.
Love it.
I
Ready
did not
for the
expect
campus.
anything less.
right?
Derek, what's not shitty for you?
Well, so I actually was really excited to see my parents for the first time since this whole pandemic started, which was really crazy. It's been so long. I've never actually gone that long without seeing them before, and it was nice to see them the other weekend. And we were able to just catch up and see each other face to face, which felt so weird but so excited at the same time. So I was really, really happy that day. It was a nice change of pace.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really nice.
Mhm.
I'm hoping to see my parents next month.
Ooh.
We may even go camping, but we don't know yet. But
Cool.
it'd be nice. I haven't seen them for a really long time too, and my mom is aching to be able to see us. So that's
I'm
that'll be
sure.
exciting. That's cool.
Camping, it'll be fun if you could do that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we're thinking about going up 395 and then maybe up in like Bishop or somewhere along one of those small towns on up that side of the state. So we'll see.
That'd be cool.
For me, I would like to say I finally saw Walt and El Grupo, thanks to Disney Plus. And that documentary was fantastic. It's something that I think a lot of us in the Disney community are aware of, the trip that Walt Disney and a bunch of other people from the studio took in 1941 down to, they call it the ABC, Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. And a few other areas intermixed in that. But one, the music was awesome. I want a soundtrack of that documentary because
It was good.
it's like I'm gonna rewatch the documentary and just play it in the background just to listen to the music. There's so much of it, but I thought it was very interesting. And it's another one of those things that's kind of like the Imagineering story, where they don't shy away too much of some of the true issues that were going on, one of the time of the 40s, but also like with the strike that went on at the studio. So I thought it was very interesting, and I thought it was kind of cool that the Walt Disney family was able to put this together, and now Walt Disney Studios is really putting that out and backing it. So
Yeah,
I
and
definitely recommend it.
I agree with Joel. I've watched it as well, and it's one of my favorite documentaries, Disney documentaries. So I definitely recommend as well.
So with that, let's move on to our first segment. We wanted to, start with something I think that's very fitting for this show in particular. It's our favorite bars. So today we want to discuss our favorite Walt Disney World bars from the parks and then to the resorts. We're actually just going to call this segment the best bars of Disney World. So if you disagree with them, sure, whatever, let us know what you think. But this is what we're going to call the best bars, which is really just our favorite bars, right? These aren't just places to get a drink, but places that evoke a sense of place or offer ourselves an escape from the real world. Places that turn out to be fantastic spots just to chill for a while, linger, and possibly have, too much to drink. Which is why I vetoed anyone that nominated Oga's Cantina from Galaxy's Edge. Sorry.
Did anyone?
No one.
No one
even
would.
brought it up.
No. It's not.
But I mean,
because we know where to get the better bang for the buck.
Yeah. One,
Right.
it's too expensive. I don't hate the place, but it's just not a place that I really want to hang out in. I mean,
Don't
it's
bring
loud.
a 4-year-old.
No, and
Well.
it has a good environment. It's a cool atmosphere in the sense it fits the land it's in, but it's crowded. There's literally nowhere to sit unless you get one of the 6 booths that you have to share with other people anyway. And if I'm gonna want to like go get a drink and hang out somewhere, I would rather have the calmness of like the Mos Eisley Cantina.
And I don't want a timer going. Like as soon as I step in there, there's like, you have 45 minutes to get your drink.
I feel like they
Yeah.
let up on that. I didn't feel rushed the last time I went, but that first time, it was brutal. I think Matt and Derick were there, right, with Braden.
Yeah,
I didn't even buy anything.
Braden walked out.
Braden walked out because it was so crowded. But that was when they were doing like 3 deep at the bar, and they at least let up a little bit on that. But yeah, so no Oga's Cantina. But beyond that, we'll save Downtown Disney and Disney Springs, or I guess just Disney Springs, for another episode. Disney Springs changed so much that I feel like I don't have enough experience yet to talk about it. There's so many bars there and so many experiences that we can have that I wanted to hold off until we start getting into Disney Springs. I have Jock Lindsay's and Edison that we have a lot of experiences with, and I know Matt and myself have had some really bad experiences at Jock Lindsay's.
Mhm.
And
but
I
that's-
had a wonderful experience. So
See, I've been there multiple times and I couldn't even get a drink.
it's sad. That's
Yeah.
sad.
Looks pretty though.
I was there for the Christmas experience, so I was,
Yeah.
I was already in my happy space for Christmas. Might have just been more forgiving. I don't know.
Well, the theming was great until they decided
Yeah.
to put top 40s in there for a bit. I think they switched back to having themed time-appropriate music.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but that was kind of a weird change they went for. I'm sure some Imagineers were like, are you kidding me? You're putting top 40? Beyonce's playing? What?
I mean, the only thing I'm destined to catch faster in Jock Lindsay's than an actual drink is Jock Itch.
Ew.
from the hot Florida weather.
Bring your talc powder.
Oh, man. I will throw out one more for Disney Springs just to talk about it because I think it doesn't get enough attention, and that's just the Coke store bar the bar on the roof. No, when we went, we had such a great time on that rooftop bar, and the fireworks started going. It was pretty nice out. It was windy, but it was nice, and we definitely got pretty drunk. But I think we need to talk about Beverly's Revenge. Now that Beverly is no longer available in Epcot, you can actually get a drink there with Beverly it's Hendrick's gin, some blood orange liquor, and Beverly in it. Did you have it, Matt?
No, I thought about it.
Oh,
Did you have it, Joel?
I don't think I did. No, I didn't have it. I had something else. I think I just got something plain.
Did
I
you,
was already
Derick?
so far.
No, I don't even remember what I had anymore, but I know it was that good, and it led to some great conversation that night. So
I mean,
it
I
was a lot of
could have had it.
fun. Next
Never
time.
remember.
Yeah.
So let's go into the rules. We do have some exclusions. So these could be a full indoor bar. It can be a restaurant's dedicated bar area, or even a favorite stand or window in which you could just grab your favorite cocktail. But we didn't want to include any Club 33s. These need to be bars that anyone can attend to, and none of us have even made it to those new Club 33s at Disney World anyway. But so we wanted to hold off on those. Of course, if any listener wants to help us get into that, just we're available. Trader Sam's Grog Grotto is, I think, a gimme, and of course we're going to pick that as a good option, and we'll throw that in the list and talk about it a little bit, but it's almost too obvious. And I mean, I think it still has, even though it's a great bar, I think there still are some challenge or negatives to it, especially when it's really busy and you can't even get into that place. So here we go, in no particular order. We'll start off with our top 8 bar spots inside Walt Disney World parks.
Well, I'm going to start off with something just nice and easy, but the Japan Pavilion beverage kiosk. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing spectacular, but it's in one of my favorite pavilions. I just love the whole atmosphere of anyways. And they have plum wine, which I love, and they have delicious sake cocktails. They're usually vibrant colors, and yes, they are pre-mixed, but they are actually not too expensive. So they're really flavorful, and I just really love getting a little paper umbrella in my drink and just kind of wander around the Japan Pavilion and soak it all in. So that's one of my favorite ones, just because when I get to the park and I have that drink in my hand, that's when I feel like I'm at Epcot. I'm there. When I have that drink, I know I'm at the World Showcase.
I hear you. Yeah, and
You
that
can't
plum
go
wine's
wrong
pretty
with
good
sake.
too.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so delicious.
I don't think I've had it.
Oh, you should next time.
Where exactly is it in the pavilion?
It's right across from the shop. What's it called?
Mitsukoshi's?
Mitsukoshi's. Yeah, it's right across from there. It's just a little stand, and they serve. I think they also sell frozen beer there, and they also started doing the shave ice. Is it kakigori? Is that called?
I don't know.
An alcoholic version of that. So like the shave ice, but it has like an alcoholic version as well, which I have not tried yet, but sounds delicious.
That does. All right, so number 7 on our list, I had to throw in here Beer Garden, and I know that it's actually officially a restaurant, but I couldn't pass up on the opportunity to highlight the fact that it's actually called a beer garden, right? And so who doesn't love beer? And so I just had to make sure that we had a pass at this one. I mean, some of the things I love about the beer garden, the atmosphere is just so totally immersive. I just love everything about Germany, the culture. I love Oktoberfest, and I love that it has this whole Oktoberfest festival vibe going to it. So once you actually enter into the restaurant, quote unquote bar, you just really get a sense of excitement, and everyone in there just feels like they're happy in there to enjoy themselves, you know? And so, of course, there's a lot of food. I think, we don't have to get into the setup of the food setup, but it is a buffet. So you're, pigging out and enjoying the food as much as you are enjoying the beer. And of course, all the entertainment that goes with it. Like, who doesn't love a really nice tall glass or pint of beer, listening to cultural German music? When we were there, just listening to them playing the band, the beer chants that they'd have every once in a while was really exciting. And the whole Alphorn demonstration was really cool. The Ricola horn.
Sorry, I
was
heard
really-
I heard Alphorn. I was like, Alphorn? What happened?
I'm trying to remember if I was with you guys or if I was with my sister when they were doing the horn demonstration, and there was this kid that kept was it with you guys?
It was with us.
It
Where
was
he
with
kept
us.
where he kept trying to put his head in the horn, and the guy
had
had
to
to keep
stop it.
stopping.
Oh,
He
that
had to
was
stop- He had to
distracting.
end early because the kid was.
I have that video somewhere.
Yeah, thanks parents for stopping the kid from playing with the.
I was like, this kid
the
is trying
horn.
to deafen himself by putting his ear right up against a horn.
No.
Yeah, way to ruin the experience, right? No, but it was a lot of fun just seeing everybody getting into it. The whole community vibe to it was really interesting. I think some people may love or hate the whole bench style seating with the communal seating with people you may not know, but I think that's kind of part of the charm of it. It's something different than what you'd normally get.
I have a feeling we won't be seeing that for a while.
I know. I was kind of thinking about how that's all going to play out, if anything. But how can you not have? I mean, that's just part of the.
You just
the
get a
setup,
big
right?
table now. And
All
One
to
giant
yourself.
table
Yeah.
party of two. Here you go. Stretch
party
out.
two, table for 10. Here you go, 2 people. All right.
Now I loved Beer Garden. I loved the atmosphere of it. I really thought the cast members got really into it, and I really loved it. I can never go back. I had a very my stomach hated me after eating the buffet there. I can't do it again.
Aw.
I can never do it again. I know it's
Maybe
sad.
they've improved it. Or
I-
whatever it was.
I don't know. I mean, it was delicious, but just every time I go by there, I just kind of my stomach clenches up.
Well, I
It
too have had
remembers.
some stomach issues at Beer Garden, but that's from too much beer and food.
Well, I said, because I was with Steven, my husband, and I said, oh my God, is this how Joel feels when he eats? And I just was like, I can never do that again.
Well, that's why I put on here. I do have a recommendation for anybody going to Beer Garden. Don't go for the full liter. I know it's cool. You get a liter of beer. It seems cool. It's giant glass. It's really heavy and hard to pick up, but you'll be thanking me afterward by just getting a half liter and just not doing it. Because I've ruined my trip by having 2 liters on one sitting and then trying to walk around World
Wait, you did
Sheesh.
2 liters? Did your stomach just slosh the whole time?
Yes, I ruined the rest of the day. This was for lunch, and then I couldn't eat anything or drink anything for the rest of the day.
No, that is bad
So
news.
don't
Take
do that.
Joel's advice. That is good advice.
Especially with all the other
Tip.
stuff you're eating, it's just gonna explode in your stomach.
You want to be able to sample your way, food and drink around,
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sounds
advice.
awful. So number 6 on our list would be the Rose and Crown pub in the UK at Epcot's World Showcase. For me, I love the atmosphere of the Rose and Crown. The pub portion of it, I absolutely love. I will say there was one time where I sat outside on the covered patio for dinner, and it was the loudest dinner I've ever had in my life. Like, I couldn't even concentrate on my food. By the end of the dinner, I was losing my mind. But
And that restaurant's already loud, but
Yeah.
I've had a similar experience out on the patio. And even though it's loud inside, I definitely recommend for people try to seat inside.
yeah, it was ugh. But however, like I said, the actual pub portion is actually really fun. The atmosphere is really energetic. Plus the drinks are fantastic. I mean, it's all traditional British ales and stuff you would get in the UK. I think one of my favorite things that I had there was, it's something simple too. It was like it was like half Strongbow cider and half Guinness. I think they called it there. I think they called it like the Black Velvet, but it worked so well. And you get pretty big glasses there too. Like, I remember they give you like a big to go. If you take it out, you get like a big to go plastic, almost like a container full of like beer.
Oh,
and I loved it.
Your pail of booze.
Pretty much, that's what it felt like.
Now you don't remember the Hat Lady or anything, correct?
I don't.
Were they playing any music when you went? Well, I guess you were outside, but your other time.
Well, I have been in the bar though. I have sat in the bar. The bar, I think it was just they had somebody there, but it wasn't a Hat Lady. It was just some musician.
Yeah, I think the Hat Lady ended in like 2013, and then they moved more towards just pure music being played. But it's a great. I mean, I guess they do like 45-minute long sets, and they use the same lady that was kind of famous for the Hat Lady bit, and she was a riot. She would do a lot of funny things and interact with everybody in the bar. But I think the new show, they still use the same. This person, one of the performers, she was with the defunct Adventurers Club. At least she's still continuing to see a lot of work. But it's just cool that they can do that. I do say with the Rose and Crown, or really any of these picks that we've done, if it's really, really busy, some of these can get pretty intense inside, right? A little too loud and
hard
maybe
to find
not
a place
as fun.
to stand. Yeah.
And then if you're waiting to outside for a long time, it may not be a lot of fun if you have to go through a big hassle to get to it. But I too put the Rose and Crown pub on here because I think it does have an awesome experience or atmosphere inside of it, and it is nice with the music going to have.
I've never been to the Rose and Crown.
Well, you've been to the real UK, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, as soon as we go in, all you're going to say is, "Oh, this reminds me of this one trip."
And then we're going to punch you in the face and tell you to leave.
That's probably true.
This pretzel tastes nothing like.
Did you say probably true? I remember vividly walking through France with you.
I mean, they did a really good job of representing the countries that they're trying to portray.
He practically had an accent walking through that pavilion.
Each one is a new accent for each country we go through.
I also have to say that with the Rose and Crown, I just looked it up because I remembered there was a drink in particular there that I really liked. It was actually free because that night that I told you that we had to sit on the patio and it was so loud. The manager knew that like my table and the table next to me, both parties of like two, were literally being like overshadowed by these big parties of like 10 and 15. So he came up to us and he offered. We were already on the dining plan anyways, so he couldn't really do much, but he did offer us drinks, and it was just any cocktail we wanted off the menu. It could have been beer, liquor, anything we wanted. And it came in a souvenir glass too, so that was also a plus. So it made it even better. But it was called the Welsh Dragon, and it was peach schnapps, melon liqueur, creme de menthe, orange juice, and pineapple juice. I remember it was bright green, and it was fantastic.
Matthew loves his bright colored drinks.
Yeah. Was your tongue green after it too?
No.
That's some good Disney customer service, though. That's nice.
It was.
That's good to hear.
It did, like, I mean, even though most of the dining experience was miserable, he did make up for it, and he was very apologetic about it, and he kind of understood what we were coming from, saying like, you sat a party of 2 out here with parties of 15.
Yeah.
So
it's not. Wait, was he being proactive too? Like he realized this was a problem before you even complained about it?
Well, because what happened was like I said, there was another party of 2 directly across from us, and we all like you don't even know these people, but you're exchanging the glances to each other. Mm-hmm. Like you know what I'm thinking because I'm thinking the same thing you are. And I finally, at one point, I did get up and I just told the manager, I said, hey, like, I'm not trying to complain. I said, there's 2 parties of 2 back here, and there's these big old parties. And I said, we really haven't seen our waiter. And I said, like, we ordered a really long time ago. And he actually kind of took over for our whole, like, the rest of the meal. and he was really, really attentive about it. And I think we left a pretty sizable tip for the manager just because he was very attentive afterwards and went above and beyond to try to, correct the issue.
Okay, whatever you say, Karen. Just kidding. That's awesome. You can see the death stare I'm getting from Matt.
I'll remember.
We'll go into number 5, the Dawa Bar in the Harambe village in Africa at Animal Kingdom. This is just a bar that, it's outdoors. It's a bamboo bar by Tusker House Restaurant. It has a lot of African beer, and it has, the Tusker Lager that's, I think, unique there. But it has a bunch of specialty cocktails like the Lost on Safari. But it's a full bar. It's just outdoors, just plenty of seating. And if it's a really, really hot day, you may want to skip this bar. But otherwise, there's always a ton of entertainment nearby in that main drag or the main walkway going through Africa. There's it always seems like a happening spot. And if you're just in the middle of the day, you're going, you have to walk a lot in Animal Kingdom usually. It's just a good stopping point and just to relax a little bit, or just to pick up a beer and take it on to waiting in line at Kilimanjaro Safari or something. But I really like this spot.
Me too. Even if there's not entertainment going, it's just a good spot to people watch with a great background. Just the area that you're in is such a nice place to just look at and visually take in. And I always feel like for some reason, the bartenders there are always really nice and super knowledgeable. I've always had really good bartender experiences there. Yeah,
they seem like to be on point. They probably have some good bartenders there because it's always busy, at least every time I'm there. And now that they've opened up that section behind it, that with the walkway that goes eventually into Pandora, but with that walkway and all the stuff they did to make that happen, someone could correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there's a lot more seating in that area. And you can even go around the corner and have even a little quieter spot if you prefer. But it's one of my go-to spots.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I had a moment. I did, and I had such a moment of pure joy walking through that area. Because I was so impressed with Animal Kingdom enough as it is, but right at that specific moment as we were getting drinks there, they started playing entertainment. That song Waka Waka came on by Shakira from the World Cup.
It's time for Africa.
Yes, and it's such a fun song. It was live music and everyone was into it, dancing and having a drink. It just felt like you were on an awesome, you're already on vacation in Disney World, but then you feel like you're on this separate excursion into Africa at the same time.
Like you've literally been transported.
Yes, and so I think that's such an awesome pick, Joel. I definitely agree.
Why don't I remember this bar?
Really?
Maybe you were drunk then too.
Was I there? Maybe I may have been.
You know what?
I remember you had a drink.
I think what we did is I think we just stopped there and grabbed a drink, and I don't think we hung out there for long, right?
Right.
If anything, I think we may have stopped there, got some drinks. Somebody may have gone to the bathroom across the walkway, and then we kind of went on to Kilimanjaro or something like that. But you were definitely there.
Why can't I remember?
Maybe you went to the bathroom and we got our drinks.
Shocker.
But in all the times you've been, you don't remember it? Really?
I honestly don't even remember what it looks like. I'm actually Googling pictures of it right now.
It's just like a little outdoor
I do not
bar.
know.
Have you been to the Tusker House?
The bar has completely moved over. It used to be on the other corner, or I don't know how to explain it, but in a different spot. And then they moved it over closer to the Tusker House entrance.
It's actually one of our reservations we had until Walt Disney World decided to cancel it.
Aww.
Womp womp. We're all giving Matt a look. Don't be a Karen. Is Karen number 2 for the night? Let's keep up the Karen counts, guys.
We were waiting for him to Google the picture. Did it come up?
Are you like Karen count?
Oh man.
I'm allowed to. I deal with enough of them all day.
You've absorbed the Karen-ness just around you.
I just need the haircut. I literally do not remember this bar. I found the pictures and I do not remember it.
Okay, next time we'll go. Next time when all of us go, guys.
That's a plan.
Well, if they keep canceling everything, it might be the next time.
Well, you're definitely familiar with next up, right? Number 4.
Yeah, you know this one, Matthew.
I do, because this is the new version. Number 4 is the Choza de Margarita. It is the margarita stand outside of the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. I'm pretty sure Joel can agree with me here that the original margarita stand, which was on the other side of the pavilion, is probably one of my favorite memories of Epcot, because my favorite thing was getting a margarita from that stand. And let's just say right now, they're not the same margaritas that you would get at Rita's at California Adventure.
No.
At all.
Not at all.
There's actually liquor in them. And I used to love getting my margarita from the stand and then walking over and finding my spot for Illuminations. It closed a few years back, but they did say that they were building a new location with a different name. And on our last trip, we actually went for the first time because it had just opened. And they still have, the frozen drinks, but they have the specialty drinks now that I think actually for me kind of made it that much better. I know one of the drinks that I had was like a smoky pineapple margarita. I remember it had like ancho chili liqueur in it, and it had like a black ant salt rim or something on it. It was really strong, but there was so much flavor, and I loved it. And I'm just glad that margarita stand still exists in some way, shape, or form, because it does mean a lot to me.
Well, it was nice because I feel like they were making more kind of on the spot there, opposed to just a bunch of frozen margaritas. But they're making a lot more fresh, kind of in front of you.
That's
they
nice.
had a lot of cast members there.
Not so pre-mixed. It's more like an actual.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I haven't been to
very
that
authentic.
one yet, so that's nice.
Right, they had a good selection there, and it holds a little bit more to my heart because of. I think it was the first place we went to when we went to Epcot, the first day of our last trip. But it was our first day. We went into Epcot. We had to get our drinks. I think it was probably 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
Probably posting like, "Oh, here I am with my drink, 11:30 a.m. at Epcot, happy as I can be." But then that's when I also provided asked all the boys to be my groomsmen in my wedding. So it was there. I gave them a little.
That's so nice.
Got our passports.
A little silly man-made or homemade passport, so we could write, and we didn't end up using them, but they're nice to have as a souvenir.
Little memento.
Yeah,
That's nice, guys. Wow, that's a really nice trip. You guys went
That
on
was
without
actually
me.
one of without you, Beth. I know we kept missing you. But yeah, actually,
sure, I believe you. I totally. I've heard all the stories about how you miss me so much. I hear it.
I just have to add to that, Joel, because that was really one of the more memorable moments for me of that trip also, because I mean, just the high of arriving into Florida, getting into Epcot, it was the first time I've been there since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And, being able to have a drink and saying, yes, we're on vacation. But then the moment then you asked us, like, it just made that all the more sentimental. And I was just like, oh man, this is already a perfect day, but that just added so much more to it. So I just you made me remember. I'm reminiscing.
Oh,
yeah.
Little did you know we'd be walking another 12 miles that day.
Right.
Well, I'm glad to know that they actually do drinks there that they make, because I actually avoided it because I just assumed it was going to be pre-made margaritas, very much like Rita's, and I was just avoided it. So I'll definitely have to check that out next time. I'll see if anyone asks me. I'll see if anyone asks me to be in their wedding when I go there.
Well, who
knows? Maybe.
I don't know. Disney World's a magical place. Things can happen.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to number 3. This one is something that I think is a little lesser known. People probably see it a lot, but they don't even realize. Like, this is a separate bar with some of its own little unique aspects to it. But this is the Tune-In Lounge at the 50s Primetime Cafe. So, Beth and I both put this down. It's something that it has that really cool 1950s vibe, just like the rest of the restaurant. It does have a separate door to get in there, but it's really just the waiting area for 50s Primetime Cafe. But it does have a really cool looking bar and specialty drinks and so forth. But if it's busy, you may not want to be hanging out there. But if you go in one of the areas, one of the times when it's not completely full, off peak, I like that. One of the off peak times, it's a good spot to sit and have a drink, and if not, a meal too.
It is. Yeah, you can order from the menu, and the decor of the bar itself is great. And then plus you feel like you're in a 50s living room, a bar in a 50s living room, if that existed. The 50s Primetime Cafe has always been one of my favorites. But I feel like in the later years, it's been less of the like interactive feel. It's more just kind of deliver your food and not so much stick, which I personally enjoyed. But I feel like you kind of get that whole, you get the experience at the bar without, I don't know, with just the experience of sitting at a bar and just enjoying a drink with someone and just kind of soak in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. It does just feel like a living room. And I'm sure a lot of people have noticed this when they're waiting for their table, but I think they did a really good job for that waiting area. And so if you're one of the lucky people to get to wait there when there's not a ton of people, I think it's just a great spot to kind of relax for a while.
I had some other more negative thoughts about the bar in 50s Primetime Cafe. I guess to your point earlier, Beth, about it being a waiting area, I guess I did go at the wrong time because it was super busy. It just felt so overwhelming. Maybe I was just also hungry, waiting to get to dinner.
You had the hanger.
Yeah, I was a little bit hangry. But at the same time, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but it smelled like wet mop inside there. And I don't know if that's like a Florida humidity thing, but
that's
it just
a 50s
totally
thing. It's part of the experience. I'm just kidding.
And I was just so annoyed by it. It kind of ruined
Derick,
it for me.
I'm so glad you said that because I was going to mention it, but I didn't want to sound like a crazy person.
Like a Karen.
But I did know. What it smelled like was like if somebody dropped something that was sweet and then they cleaned it up, but it didn't get cleaned up all the way. So it smelled like, it just smelled weird. And
was
I don't
it vomit?
know. No, it definitely smelled like somebody dropped a drink and it just smelled like it was
like that stale alcohol, like sweet mixed drink, like at a cheap bar.
Yeah,
it reminded
me of the same mop
like at the VEC
that they
in
didn't
Vista.
try out.
And the thing is, it reminds me of like, because you could definitely tell it was a gross like sugar, like something was sticky because it's the same smell that I would smell in our back room at work when like a case of Coke explodes and we can't find like the rest of it. And it just keeps getting gross over the course of however many days. So my first instinct when I walked into the 50s Primetime that last time was like, this place smells like our back room.
It smells like work. Oh, that's a terrible
Well,
feeling.
but so that seems like a one-off, hopefully, right?
Hopefully. It was my only experience though. I mean, the decor was really cool. So hopefully
Did you guys eat there as well or just go to the bar?
We ate there.
We ate there.
It was just in the entryway area though, like where the little Christmas tree and stuff was, because everywhere else in the restaurant was totally fine.
We'll put a caveat and an asterisk next to this one where it's if it's really busy, not good, and if there's a smell,
if there's a
not good,
stench, skip
avoid it.
I think that's safe to say for any bar. If you smell something weird, go ahead and skip it. It's okay.
In case you were questioning yourself.
And I mean, I think we can all say too, that was where I got the world's best GIF of Derick.
Oh, can we share it on our social?
The GIF that keeps on giving?
I do have it.
Okay, great. We'll
it
share
on
our social.
Absolute favorite.
We'll put it on our actual Twitter so you can see it on the Off Harbor Twitter.
All right.
Derick won't see it anyway because he's not on Twitter. So
he won't know. It's actually Derick's butt, but he won't know.
Well, let's go into number 2.
All right, number 2 is Cava del Tequila in the Mexico Pavilion. One of my favorites.
That's a good one.
It's
Me
so
too.
good. Did you get to go, Derick? Okay, good. Okay,
yes.
So it opened back in fall of 2009. And it's just, I don't know, you walk in there, it feels warm, it feels cozy. It's supposed to be themed to like a cellar in a hacienda. So you just kind of get that feeling like you're underground and that you're just, sipping on tequilas there. They have the interesting salts like Matt had mentioned for his drink with like the black ant salt. They have the hibiscus salt. And not my favorite chips and salsa. Their appetizers are a little bit overpriced and a little bit bland. But the drinks are like top notch. The avocado margarita. That's all I ever want to drink. It is my favorite.
only thing I've ever gotten from there. I don't need to try anything else.
No,
It is
me
my
too.
absolute favorite.
Like, I don't care about anything else. Just give me that avocado margarita. I want it to come to Disneyland so bad because I just want to be able to have it more than like once every 2 years. It is so good.
It's
Or like
probably,
So good.
3 times every 2 years. You know,
to
whatever.
be honest, it's probably like one of my favorite alcoholic drinks
Me too.
as a whole. Anywhere,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
place.
Me too.
I don't think I've had this, but you
It's
guys
Really?
just sold it,
so
so I guess I
good.
need to have it next time.
It is so good.
It-
If you like avocado at all, it's good. It does not taste like you're drinking guacamole.
No, do you know what? This is the best way I can describe it. Yes, it has avocado in it, but the best way I can describe the way that margarita tastes is it tastes like you're drinking the Bath and Body Works cucumber melon scent.
It does. It has the cucumber, and it does have Midori, and it has a cucumber liqueur in it, and it has the avocado. And I'm not, for myself, I do not really like blended drinks that much. Like, I'm not like I'm not a pina colada person. I like the flavors, but I just don't really like a blended drink. But this is probably like the only blended drink that I really like, and I love it. It's like one of my favorites.
See,
And
I
I-
have an issue with cucumber in my drinks.
I was just gonna say, I don't think it tastes overwhelmingly like cucumber. I think
Well-
you definitely taste more of the avocado.
It actually doesn't have any cucumber in it.
Oh, it doesn't?
I was
Oh,
just
thought
looking it
did.
up, and I'm
It
like, I
doesn't
don't
have
see
any.
it on the
Wow.
list.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm just saying is, I think the way it melds with like the avocado is that's
Mhm.
what it reminds me of. Is that?
Mhm.
Got
But
it.
I will say though, as tasty as it is, though, it's not the prettiest looking drink.
Sure.
It is green and it is filling. Like you can't just chug 3 of them in one sitting because it's avocado. It is filling, but it's good. It's really
But
good.
it's not the bad cholesterol. It's the good cholesterol.
It's a good cholesterol.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
you're gonna get a little bit healthy drinking it.
Well, and so for those that have not been to this bar, I mean, obviously they have a ton of tequila. I mean, you can just taste tequila, and they have tequila flights and everything. But then they have a wide list of margaritas that you're probably not going to find at El Torito. But even if you did, these are going to be much better made with
Way
better
better.
ingredients, right? So, for instance, even like didn't even real. I don't think I saw this last time. Otherwise, I probably would have got it just because of its name. But it's the Maelstrom Margarita.
Mm.
But I mean, it's tequila, Milagro Blanco, mango puree, orange liqueur, served with habanero peppers, blueberries, basil, and Tahini chili
Mm-hmm.
powder on the rim. Yeah, I mean,
Yum.
I mean, I have to be careful with habanero in my drinks because I don't want to be burping that up later. But that sounds really good. I need to try that next time.
They have some amazing drinks, and the whole atmosphere while you're in there. Now you can take your drinks to go. You can wait and take it to go and not sit in there. But the atmosphere itself is just, it's really enjoyable. It's cozy. It's tight without feeling like you're sitting on top of people.
Hmm.
It just feels
Mm.
it feels comfortable in there to me.
And
It
I mean,
does,
it's
yeah.
still relatively new. I mean, I what was it, 2009? So
2009, yeah.
It's not that new anymore, but still in the
Newer side, yeah.
it's a newer
Has
side.
it been that long already?
No, it doesn't
Wow.
feel that way, but
It does
It-
feel like it's still really new.
it's such a great addition to that pavilion. And I feel like all these additions they've made, within the last 10 years, I just mean like these food additions that they keep adding, like this bar, the other restaurants along like at Morocco, I think have all been top notch. And I think they
Yeah.
understand what they need to do.
Yeah, they definitely nailed it.
I thought you were going to try to say that the San Angel Inn was top notch because, to be honest, I'd rather go to a Taco Bell.
Well, we'll have our San
save
Angel
that for
discussion another time because
Yeah.
But that's
Matt
not an
and I have
additional.
notes.
That's not an
That's
addition.
that's why the chips and salsa suck, because they probably come from the
From
San
San
Angel.
Wow.
it's true. They probably do, and they're not very good. They're very bland, and the queso is just like not. I'm like bland.
It's
But-
not real queso.
Yeah, no.
I will say, so I think we hit up La Cava after Choza. And so I was actually already really, really happy walking into the Mexico pavilion and then, making that our next stop. I will say I remember the line being kind of long,
Mhm.
but for whatever reason, it moved really decently for the wait. And so it didn't feel too overwhelming
Yeah, keep in mind we went during Food and Wine Festival, and so
That's true.
it was exceptionally busy when we went, even in all the walkways. So they had an extra line out front for La Cava, and typically you could just kind of stroll in there and get a seat. So this was
Got it,
kind of
yeah.
a unique experience.
I will say though, while Derick was saying it was busy, every time I've ever gone, I've walked up there and they've made my drink, when I asked for it. But I did notice the last time they had a lot of blenders with stuff that they've already made. And I'd never seen that before. And
Probably
I was like,
their highest
they
requested
did,
drinks.
because
I'm assuming.
my margarita, the avocado one,
Mhm.
was already like pre-made, and the guy just grabbed a cup and poured it. And I was like, that kind of takes away from the whole.
But at least it's
thing,
like
but-
they're pouring it there. It's not like a pre-poured mix
Yeah.
type thing. So
Yeah.
it's usually like
Freshly
overly
made
sweet. And
within the hour.
But I think it's like, for me, it was kind of like, I like that aspect.
it's made for you,
Made to
for
order.
Matthew.
Yes.
What a Karen.
The Karen.
I hate all of you. I'm leaving. I'm starting my own podcast.
But I get it. You want
The Karen
you
show.
want to feel like you want to feel like it's being made for you. I get it. I do.
I just want people
No,
to
I
call
totally
and yell at
agree.
them.
Well, let's go into our number one. These bars are not put in any particular order, like I said before, but this number one, I think, is a true number one. And this one is going to be the Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom.
We all listed this one, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
We
all of
put it
us
on, yes.
put this
Round
one
of
down.
applause for Nomad. Good job, Nomad.
Yay.
Yes, I'm sad I haven't been here more, but it's now become like I have to go there every trip, no matter what. So let's start off. It's next to Tiffin's. It's the bar for Tiffin's, if you will. But the restaurant is an art gallery and it's all about the travel and adventure that led to the creation of Animal Kingdom, and it's all about every part of Animal Kingdom, which is why it's in Discovery Island and not in like another area of the park, because it's really talking about all the parts that make up Animal Kingdom. Now the bar, Nomad Lounge, that's all about the Imagineers and their stories and their travels and efforts just to create Animal Kingdom. So obviously, just with that said, that alone, there is so much in this bar that there's so much to look at, and there's these quotes on the walls and hanging from tapestries or from the rafters, talking about what is good and what they've learned through their travels. So from just that aspect alone, it already wins in my heart. But then you also have incredible drinks and food there too.
Here's my confession. This was on my list as one of my favorites. I've never actually been inside. I've only sat outside.
But that outside veranda area is awesome too.
The outside is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Quiet.
It's quiet. So here's my story. The first time I went there was several years ago when I took my almost 2-year-old, but not quite, to Disney World for the first time. And wow, that was a different experience to go with the 2-year-old. And she had finally fallen asleep in her stroller. Stephen and I were exhausted. This was probably about the 4th or 5th day of our trip. We were exhausted. I mean, it had been a great time, like, don't get me wrong, but we were tired. We were worn out. We're used to doing Disney World very much at a pace where we like to stop and relax and have a drink frequently. And she was not about that at the age of 1.5, almost 2. So we put the stroller up there. We had the greatest server, who was just so kind, helped us get the stroller up, found us a quiet spot outside where we could tuck the stroller away, whispered to us the entire time as he gave us our menus and gave us the information. And we were kind of debating between a couple of drinks we weren't quite sure about, and he gave us his opinions and just very kind the entire time. Came back later with a drink that had been quote unquote accidentally made of one of the other drinks that we had been trying to decide. It's, oh, we made this on accident for somebody else, so here, we're just going to leave this here for you. And it was just I just felt like we were just taken care of for a minute.
Yeah.
It was just so kind.
That's nice.
And the next time that we went back 2 years later, we went, same thing. She fell asleep. We took back, it wasn't the exact same experience, but when we were in Animal Kingdom and she fell asleep, we knew exactly. We wanted to go to the Nomad Lounge and just enjoy a quiet minute together and just kind of look out over everything. And I think we'll probably do that every trip from now on, just because it was such a relaxing and centering experience from the whole trip. But excellent cast members there. The fact that they came and brought an extra drink just because we were clearly 2 young parents who were frazzled and exhausted, and they just took care of us. It was really great.
My first time at the Nomad Lounge was on our last trip. We actually were at Animal Kingdom, and it was my birthday.
Oh, so nice.
And I remember the lounge was, amazing. Everything was really comfortable. It was, we were tired. I think we were waiting. I think we were going to dinner or something later, but
we did an early happy hour. We got there right when they opened.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, that's definitely a recommendation for anybody listening. If you want to try to avoid the crowds and just have an easy experience, if you just go towards, when they start opening for kind of dinner service, it was great because we were not the only people, but there's only a few people in there, and it never filled up. But by the time we were leaving, it was getting full. But I think that also helped with the experience. And hopefully Nomad Lounge doesn't ever get to the point where it's like a Cove Bar of a few years ago in DCA where you have to wait huge lines to get in, and then that becomes a hassle, right?
Yeah, and because I know, like I said, I think we were going to Boma for dinner, so we were just killing time before we had to leave. But I remember the drink that I got, and I will tell anybody out there, if you want a strong drink in Disney World, go to the Nomad Lounge, because I only had one. I had one, and I remember I was drunk.
You were loopy. I was. I think everyone else have two, and you only had one.
I thought we all had two.
I
Matt
only had one
because
I only had one because
right.
Oh my god.
Do you remember the drink that you had?
Yeah, it was the Snow Leopard. So not only was I drunk, but I was also contributing to help save the snow leopards.
What's in the Snow Leopard? I'm curious.
The Snow Leopard, it was called the Snow Leopard Salvation.
Ooh.
It was Snow Leopard vodka, not made from snow leopards.
Real Panther.
Real Panther. It was a Snow Leopard vodka, Belle de Brulette, pear liqueur, mint, and lime juice, and topped with ginger beer. But I think most of that drink was
the
vodka because, like I said, yes, I had one and I was done. It was made for a good trip, though.
They have the prettiest glassware there, don't they? I always feel like
I think they all have unique glasses for all the drinks too, right?
I did. I had a picture too.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
There you go. Yeah.
That's nice.
So I thought yours was the pretty one, but I guess that must have been Braden's. But his had this really pretty fruit garnish on it. I don't know if it was like a lychee or some sort of tropical something or other, but it was really pretty and really Instagrammable. I'll have to look that one up. But I remember what I loved about the place was the seating was so comfortable. The air conditioning, of course, you can't beat that. And the wraparound windows, just you could see outside to where I'm sure you were sitting, Beth, with all the lush vegetation and the river winding around it. Like such an awesome atmosphere and ambiance to have a drink. And it was great because, like we said, we had two of them. I don't remember my second one, but I do remember my first. And I had, what was it? Oh, the Night Monkey. And that has Bacardi Gran Reserva Maestro rum, guava puree, coffee simple syrup, and lime juice with a hint of cilantro. It was really delicious. I love guava. Anything guava.
I had that one too because I remember the cilantro.
Did you like it?
Yes, it was really good. I'm a big cilantro fan in general anyways, but it was really good. I think that's the
drink I tried to make tonight.
Oh, did you? That was the free one that he brought over to us. I remember him saying that it was some people didn't like it because the coffee and cilantro mix was kind of strange.
I loved it.
That's when he ended up bringing it over, and I also really liked that one.
So tonight I was trying to go for the Leaping Lizard originally because I thought I had some. Well, one, I do have Malibu rum, but I don't have pineapple rum. I had the tangerine rum, so that's where I was. That's my base was a Leaping Lizard, and then I just did what I had on hand.
A Leaping Joel.
With the Nomad Lounge, I do appreciate it's essentially Joe Rohde's bar. A lot of it's just celebrating his Imagineers or the Imagineers for Animal Kingdom, but it also celebrates just the realism that they bring to Animal Kingdom. And I think it's just done perfectly. And I think we all recommend it for anybody on their next trip.
100%.
Definitely.
All right. So off to the resorts. This one was hard. I mean, this whole thing has been pretty hard, actually. And we did actually do a lot of research and looking in each of the bars because we wanted to get this one right. But I mean, it was very difficult just because we really probably want to be in any resort bar right now. So all of them seemed kind of enticing and a good option. But we'll highlight some at the end also that we think we would really enjoy. But we have yet to visit. It's important to preface that we haven't been to the Disney's Riviera Resort yet or the Grand Destino Tower, but we do know there's bars there that should be included probably on this list. So without further ado, here are, in no particular order, our top 11 Disney World Resort bar spots. Number 11, we'll start off with Trader Sam's Grog's Grotto. This is obviously something that is near and dear to all of our hearts. We love Trader Sam's over here in California, and the Trader Sam's over at the Polynesian Resort, I think, takes the best parts of Trader Sam's and kind of builds on it. It does have a little bit more room inside, plus plenty of seating outside on the back porch, and you can listen to music out there. Plus, you're just kind of out of the Polynesian, so it's very fitting for that area. And I do like the added tiki room under new management, which I'm glad caught fire and is no longer and went back to the original. But I mean, does anybody else have anything to say about Trader Sam's?
How you were saying, it's nice to sit outside and listen to the music. It is nice to sit outside and listen to the music. When the electric water pageant isn't overbearing everything else.
I don't know why it's so loud. It's like we want to make sure everybody inside their hotel rooms know to get out and come watch this.
Yeah, we're sitting there listening. We're sitting there listening to like some like ukulele guy playing, and all of a sudden here comes this float going by, and it's
startling.
So loud. But the drinks were good.
I went there shortly thereafter it opened, and I remember it was like an hour-long wait, and there's like, I think I had to give them my phone number, but obviously it's another one of those situations where if it's really busy, you want to probably try and find another option. That other option could be number 10, the Tambu Lounge, which is just right outside Ohana. It's just a sitting area and the bar area that goes to the Ohana restaurant. But the sitting area has changed countless times, and it's nothing like it was before when you had a kind of a bird's eye view of the giant rock formation and fountain that once sat in the lobby of the Polynesian. But it's still a fantastic spot before a dinner reservation or just for a day off. If you want to take a rest or doing a half day at the park, it's a great place to go back and relax. It's just in the lobby there on the second floor, and it has the large windows that can look out from the sitting area, the lush back area of the great ceremonial house. You can see the pool area in the distance and Space Mountain and the Cinderella Castle from across the Seven Seas Lagoon. So I've had some good experiences there, including getting the back scratcher and having the back scratcher for the rest of the trip because they give you a little wooden back scratcher. Back scratcher.
This is one of Steven's favorites that he told me he wanted to add. I did not put it on my list. I mean, I like it. It's good. But I think he likes the Lapu Lapu that comes in the pineapple.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this is one of his favorites that he enjoys. We're waiting to go to Ohana.
It's the most wasteful drink ever.
It is, but
the Lapu Lapu.
You know what? Damn, it's fun to drink. Like it just looks.
The experience.
Yeah, it's the experience of drinking it. One time when we were actually here waiting for some reservations, I think a big group of cast members from Disneyland came in as well, and they were talking. And it turns out that the new friends of ours who are also cast members at Disneyland. So we ended up. Someone had gotten engaged, so we ended up sharing a toast with them as well. So it's kind of fun, like a small world type thing where we ran into people that knew people who we knew and I got to celebrate with them for someone who had gotten engaged. So that was really fun. It was a good memory.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I was really excited. I like this place. I think when we went, there was a lot of renovation happening.
I think it was behind a wall when we went.
Yeah, and so I remember a counter being the bar
yes.
to order drinks. But I think it was really great for me because of the fact that we couldn't get into the grotto. And so to know that, oh yes, we have another alternative option where we can get our fix, and knowing that it was our waiting period to get into Ohana, which I was really excited for. I think added to the whole excitement for me for it. So yeah, it was a nice experience.
Yeah, and this isn't anything that's like some incredible bar. We're talking about the top bars, but again, I kind of talked about this at the very beginning, saying, these bars don't necessarily need to be some indoor big bar exclusive experience. It's something that's just a nice area, a spot per se, where you can grab a drink, relax, some great seating areas, and then you can just go on with your day.
Okay, so number 9, this is actually one that I selected, and I feel like maybe a lot of people would not agree with me on this. It's the Outer Rim at the Contemporary. It's just a small bar. It's nothing fancy. There's no theming. It's across from the Contempo Cafe. It's right next to Chef Mickey's. And when it's right next to Chef Mickey's, it is right next to Chef Mickey's. People who are waiting with their children, people use it as a waiting area, so it can be loud. There's often lots of children running back and forth. But it has these big, huge, picturesque windows that look right out onto Bay Lake. And if you can get it at sunset, it's amazing. It's gorgeous. You can literally sit right next up against a window, look out across Bay Lake, have sunset happen, and it's beautiful. Stephen and I went there, and I went and ordered us doubles for our drinks. We drank them, enjoyed the sunset. It was gorgeous. We were waiting for our reservations at the Wave. I left for a moment to go use the restroom, came back, and Stephen was like, oh, the waiter came back, and bartender came back and asked if we wanted to just refill our drinks. And I was like, Stephen, I ordered doubles. So you just ordered us 2 more doubles. And my husband is very much a lightweight. A double was a lot for him. And then now he was getting to have 2 doubles. So our dinner at the Wave was very interesting, but it was a great time, and I will definitely always remember it. And like I said, the view itself is gorgeous.
That's awesome.
I got nothing to add for Outer Rim because I have yet to go there.
Joel didn't even know where it was.
I know.
I didn't either. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Like, honestly, when you're looking at it, you're not going to think it's anything amazing. And it's not. I mean, it's your average drinks. It's nothing that's spectacular. But the view itself, because you can literally sit right up against the windows that are so huge that look right over Bay Lake. If you can get there at sunset, I mean, it's beautiful. We were waiting for our reservations. We could either sit in the Wave, which is delicious, by the way, but it took over an old arcade. It has 0 windows. Mm-hmm. So you can sit in a bar with like 0 windows and wait for it, or you can sit by this beautiful picturesque view looking over Bay Lake and just enjoy the sunset while you're waiting. So that's what we chose to do. And if you're there at sunset time, I suggest it.
It's nice.
Thank you.
I mean, I think like what Joel was saying, it's all about the experience and the feels that you get from what you're doing.
Exactly, there. Yeah.
So, yes, I can appreciate that.
Well, moving right along, for number 8, I have Victoria Falls Lounge at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It is this really small lounge. It's nothing that's huge. It's small, but it's right below the main lobby. It's right above Boma, so kind of sandwiched in between the two, but it's like on its own platform.
It's like half level.
Yeah, it's like half level, and it has all this natural light coming from its windows that are just there from the hotel itself. And it has these beautiful pillars that are all sunset colored. So it's kind of like you're in this perpetual golden hour. It's lots of natural light. It's beautiful. And they have all these delicious beverages that you can just drink and enjoy. It can get a little bit loud because it's kind of in between these 2 noisy areas. But just when you sit there, it's really enjoyable. They have like a bread service type thing that you can get. It's not quite as big as the Sanaa bread service, but it has like a small bread service that you can get. It has some African wines and some beers and some specialty cocktails. It's a delicious place to enjoy and wait for your reservation.
And plus, once Boma starts like dwindling down, I think it's a good spot because it starts to quiet in that area.
Yeah.
And it's like it is sandwiched in between, the lobby floor and then Boma, but as it starts to dwindle down for the night, it's good tones in there. It's not too bright. It's just a nice quiet spot to
wind down from your evening.
Yeah,
relax from your evening. And yeah, if I was staying at that hotel, that's definitely how I would probably choose to end every evening. Is just let's just stop there before we go back to the room and have a drink and go back.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it named after? Is Victoria the wife of the famed explorer Dr. Albert Falls?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it is an actual fall, but maybe.
It is by a waterfall, isn't it?
Um,
Is there water rushing down by the?
I don't think so, but it is.
Why do I
If you think
remember
about
that?
it, it's kind of in a waterfall pattern because it goes the main lobby, then it goes the lounge, and then it goes Boma.
I never thought about that.
Mind blown, yeah.
It is like the falls.
You never
Yeah.
think about that until you stay at that hotel and you realize it's a pain in the ass.
What, the different levels?
Yeah.
Okay, Karen.
That is. Oh, I 100% Karen. I will say right now, everybody else loves the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I don't ever have to stay there again.
I love it.
Is it just because it's
but
far?
I've never stayed there, so.
Or is it because there's other issues you have? with
it's
Animal
the
Kingdom?
layout, right?
The layout was weird, and I just don't see what the big deal is.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it's pretty.
Wow. Can't wait till we have our. I can't wait till we have our resorts discussion.
It's okay.
We'll talk about Animal Kingdom Lodge later, in private. Number 7.
Whoa.
Whoa. I feel like I'm getting a talking to later.
You are.
Reprimand.
Number 7 on the list is the Cruise Club Lounge over next to the Yachtsman Steakhouse. This isn't anything extraordinary either, but it does have a lot of, it's a dark woods. It's generally quiet in there. It's perfect to get out of the hustle and bustle. It's especially on some hot days. Every time I've been walking by or to this bar, it's always been really quiet. There's only a few people in there. I'm sure maybe around dinner time it could be a little bit busier as people are waiting to get for their table to come up. But it has the Yachtsman signature bread there. There's a bunch of options if you want to just eat. You can do that as well. You have the prime rib sliders, there's cheese boards, lobster bisque. You have the classic crew burger there. And there's even a signature yacht dog there, which is a 14-day dry-aged prime beef. And then there's even prime ribs. So there's a lot of options there if you want to even eat. If you're just didn't have a reservation somewhere, I'm sure you could just probably eat there as well. But it's a nice little spot, and just walking around the Yacht and Beach Club or going around the boardwalk, this is a good spot. Just meander around, have a drink, and then after you have your drink, you can just keep walking around Yacht Club.
Well, I've never been here before, but I'm going to tell you that you sold me with cheese boards.
There you
That's
go.
all-
I mean,
that's
I
all I
think
needed.
every place needs to have a cheese board now.
It does.
Yes.
If I can't get cheese with my alcohol, why am I even bothering? One time, Matt and I ate a whole wheel of blue cheese by ourselves.
We sure did at an
It
Angels
was
game.
delicious. It was great.
At an Angels game,
Yeah.
Yep, I had no shame in it either.
they had that there.
We were there for a birthday, and we were in one of the skyboxes, and they had the whole like catered thing.
Yeah.
And me and
Matt
Beth
and I
happened
took the cheese
we
to our
took the
table.
cheese board
Just ate
to
it.
our table, and we literally finished the entire cheese spread, just the two. And
No
this was,
regrets. No
and-
regrets.
and you would think we wouldn't be hungry anymore because we had just left the Orange International Street
That's
Fair.
true. We had just
We
eaten a
had
whole
just
bunch.
eaten so much food.
But you know what? There's blue cheese. There's nothing to stop you when there's blue cheese.
And we washed it down with shot glasses made of chocolate.
We did. Ooh, it was delicious. It was a great time.
That was a good game. I
It
don't even
was
remember I don't remember.
Who knows?
I don't even remember who won the game.
I was just drunk with cheese and booze. Who knows? For number 6, I have the River Roost Lounge at Port Orleans Riverside. It's their little lobby bar there. When you look at it, you wouldn't think it's anything too special. It's just really a little bar. It's a bar in a seating area. But what they do have there is Yeehaw Bob Jackson. He's been there since 1997. He won the Disney, or received, I guess he didn't win it, Disney Legacy Award back in 2003. And it's a really enjoyable show. You can tell when you're there that there are a lot of locals who probably come and enjoy it. They know the shtick. It's very much a similar show throughout all of his shows that he's doing. It's very similar, but he has a little bit of improv, and it's very child friendly. So while I did not go here while I had a child, you could just see parents coming, bringing their children, and getting a chance to just relax for a minute, enjoy the show, and their kids were thoroughly entertained. Not to say that it's a kid show per se, but it's very child friendly. He brings up the kids, he involves them, So it's really just enjoyable for everyone, but it's a very good chance for the parents to just take a minute, get a chance to get a drink. It's right next to a quick service as well. So you want to get quick service and bring your food over, you can watch it. But he's been there since, like I said, 97, and he's very popular. You can see a lot of Disney-sized people like go to see him. But it's definitely a good way to end your day and just kind of relax. And it almost reminded me a little bit of Billy Hill and the Hillbillies in the way that just kind of a similar kind of humor. And you could tell that he had a lot of fans that were there that kind of knew, they knew their
knew his
cues.
humor, his shtick.
Almost more than Billy Hill. Remember when Rod used to play at Refreshment Corner?
Yes. Yes.
And everyone knew what was coming. They knew when to clap. It was very much like that. But because it was so similar, you went, 2 nights, you kind of knew what to do, and everyone felt involved and like they were part of what was happening. So it was really enjoyable to see that kind of atmosphere there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was shocked by it when I went there one night and I had no idea he existed or that there was even going to be a show. And we just walked by and saw it happening, and we stopped to go get a drink, and I was just laughing my ass off. He did a great job, but the whole camaraderie with everybody there, just laughing and obviously having a good time together, definitely makes this a great spot. Just remember that he's not there on Mondays and Tuesdays.
True.
I went by, I think, on a Tuesday once or something, like, oh, maybe I can catch that show. And I realized he's just there Wednesday through Saturday. I don't think he has a fill-in probably. But yeah, it's a great little spot. And I think a lot of people don't realize how popular that area or that bar can be, because during the day when you walk by it, just kind of off the lobby there, you may not realize that it kind of turns into a scene at the
when you're walking through, it does not look like anything. It just looks like okay, I can grab a drink here on my way up to my room. You don't realize that there's any sort of nightlife there. But yeah, it's a nice little surprise.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 5 is Jelly Rolls. I think I may be the only person in this group who has been to Jelly Rolls. Is that correct?
That's correct. I went over to go in, but then we realized there was a cover.
Yes, there is a cover.
I was like,
I think if you go earlier in the evening, you can avoid a cover. Like if you get in at like 7, maybe if I remember correctly. But if there's a cover, I'm telling you now, it is worth it. It can get very crowded, so if you get there early, you have a better chance of getting a seat. Right around like 9 o'clock, I think it's like standing room only. But it is a dueling piano bar. It's at the end of the boardwalk, right next to whatever the Atlantic Dance Hall.
Dance Hall.
Yes, it's right there. It is a lot of current music, but mostly 60s to 90s jams. You write down what you want them to play. You bring it up, you put it in their fishbowl, you give them a little tip with it. You might get your song played. They encourage a lot of audience participation. There's dancing, there's singing, there's piano playing. They have all you can eat popcorn, which I don't care about because I don't like popcorn, but some people do. So instead of like, bar mix or anything like that, they have the popcorn.
Terrible people.
I love popcorn.
Yeah,
but if you spill it, she won't bother to pick it up for you.
I will not. I will not. You pick up your own damn rainbow colored popcorn. Actually, I like flavored popcorn. I did eat some of Derick's delicious rainbow popcorn that he spilled, not the stuff that had spilled on the floor. Okay, but I didn't tell you the best part. Well, not the best part, but they have drink specials every night. They have shot specials, and then they have 32-ounce red Solo cup drink specials. Now, when I went, it was a while ago. I haven't been back in a while, but when I went, they were $10 for the drink specials, which was still incredibly cheap for the time. I think I went about 2012, maybe? Even at the time, $10 for 32 ounces of alcohol was incredibly cheap. And it's
on Disney property.
On Disney property. I mean, 32 ounces. And I'm going to tell you that 32 ounces of whatever they're pouring into your cup was not watered down. It was not watered down. So again, Stephen, we're going to talk about you a lot because you're funny at bars. So again, Stephen is a lightweight. They had some sort of 32-ounce drink special that sounded delicious. So we each ordered one. 32 ounces is big, guys. It's a very large cup. We sat down, we had a drink. One was plenty. It's very loud because it's a piano bar. They're singing. It's very loud. The waitress comes by and she says, "Oh, do you guys want anything else?" And Stephen holds up one finger and kind of shakes it gently back and forth.
Oh,
She's
yes.
like, "Okay." She walks away. I said, "You just ordered another drink." He was like, "No, this is the international sign for no." I'm like, "No, you're at a bar. That's one more." And he was like, "Well, what?" I said, "International sign for no more is a slashing sign with your hand. No more." He was like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "Okay, well, we're wait and see what happens." 5 minutes later, she comes back with a giant 32-ounce drink full of liquor for him. He was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, this isn't the no soup for you signal, This is
no
drinks.
no drinks. This little one finger wave. So I did help him finish that. And thankfully we were staying at the Boardwalk, so we did not have to go too far back to our hotel room that night. But it's honestly, it's one of my favorite places, and I can't wait to go again when I have someone who can, watch my child for one night so I can go enjoy it again, because it was definitely worth it. So if you guys go, I highly suggest it is worth the cover charge.
All right, next time we go without Beth, guys, we know
my God.
where you're going.
But we go with Steven. He's the best drink orderer.
You'll all get an extra one.
Well, these next few on the list, they're all in the same area. It's all kind of Boardwalk related, if you will, locations. So number 4 is the Bellevue Lounge at the Boardwalk Inn. I don't think a lot of people know about this one. I myself had no idea this existed, probably because during the daytime, this just looks like a sitting area. But it actually turns into a really nice bar in the evening. And I think what was going on is, I think Derick and I we were on our last trip, Braden and Matt just wanted to kind of go back to the room, and they were considering coming back out, but they were pretty tired. But Derick and I were ready to go party. Well, we decided to walk around and just try to find some drinks. So we went to we walked by the Boardwalk, and we stopped at the Bellevue Lounge. It's really cool because it's quaint. It has 1930s style radio playing programs in the background, and found a comfy chair. It's just like a couch, if you will, and there's a veranda area too. And the place offers coffees and pastries in the morning, and I think they may have a few food options at nighttime, but it's really just a bar. But Derick and I were antsy just to get a drink, and this place really just delivered. It was a great little spot just to relax. I think we were probably on their phone most of the time as we were just tired, wanted to sit down. But I think you would agree, right, Derick?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun there, and I think for a good while, we were the only ones in there, and so it was cool to have the place kind of to ourselves before some other people stopped by. Just the whole vibe was really nice and relaxing, especially coming from a long day of walking around the parks. And so, yeah, it was a really cool vibe there.
And I think, if the place is full and you only see one bartender, take that into consideration when you go, because it did start filling up. And it was just that one guy there. And I noticed he was having some challenges keeping up, and I don't blame him. He had the outside area to deal with and all the inside seating area. So I can totally understand him having a challenge, but just take that into consideration. But I do love that they have that the 1930s style radio going. It's nice to have these small little areas where you wouldn't think they would put in a lot of extra effort or put in like some of these small details, and they did it here. So that was really nice.
And it's right by there's like an outdoor balcony area, right?
Right. There's a veranda area that you can sit out there and get service as well.
Is the seating outside as comfortable as the sofas inside? Because those are very comfortable sofas, and I could just kind of sit down and sink in, take a little nap.
Yeah, I don't know what the chairs are like outside. I have a feeling
you guys
they were
stayed
rocking
inside
chairs.
too?
We stayed inside. Yeah. So moving right along, number 3 on our list is the Ale and Compass Bar over at the Yacht Club.
Yeah, this was our number 2 stop on our bar hopping tour around the Epcot Resorts area bar section. And I was actually really excited because, as Joel mentioned, we did do a lot of walking that day, but I was still on vacation mode, so I was just really excited to get out there and check out some of the different resorts, because part of what I was excited about going on the Walt Disney World trip was to check out the resorts and just like look at all the different theming elements to it. And so Ale and Compass was one of the stops we had. I really appreciated this place because of the whole nautical vibe. Again, it's at the Yacht Club Resort, and just anything nautical just really speaks to me. I love that they had different decorations on the walls, and I think this place had a fireplace, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember that, Joel?
It's possible that it does, but I just remember being, dark, a lot of blue in there, but it was also quiet. I was shocked there was nobody else in there.
Yeah, it's just one of those other nice off to the side areas that not too many people will look to as a destination bar if they're out with their group. But it was really nice to get away, and it was nice and dark, and the color schemes really worked well for me. I really enjoyed the cocktails too. The one that I had that night was the Big Apple, and that one has Buffalo Trace bourbon, which I love bourbon, a crisp apple puree, and I love apple, and Carpano Antica Sweet Vermouth. And so I think the whole combination of that really worked well for me. Just drinking that in the setting was a really awesome experience. And one of the ones that spoke to me really well.
Wait, I was going to say, I've not been there, but I did check, and yes, there is a fireplace there, Derick.
Oh, thanks for checking.
Yeah. I think I was feeling my drinks there too, so I don't remember all the elements, but I thought I saw.
At this point, we were feeling pretty good.
Yeah. A quick Google check confirms there is a fireplace there. So that's now on my list, because I love a good fireplace to have my drinks by.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it just felt very rich and very snazzy, like the whole theming. It was a very classy place, and I think it's an extension to the Ale and Compass restaurant. I've never eaten there, and would like to. I do love the decoration of that place too, so it would be a nice place to check out next time. So number 2 on our list is the Abracadabra. This was not on our tour of the bar hopping excursion we did, but we did check it out when we went to the Boardwalk Resort in general and just walked around that whole area. When we went, we didn't have the opportunity to actually get some drinks there, but I did appreciate this place just for the aesthetic vibe that I got from it. And so I thought it would be worthy of putting up on our list, because I do hear a lot of good things about it, and the things that I saw were very impressive to me. I mean, the whole Boardwalk Resort in general is such an awesome theme. I love that whole old-timey, boardwalk with all the games and the different the sounds and the sights, and it's right up against the water. It's really cool vibe there. And then once you walk into Abracadabra, it just kind of extends that whole theme into the bar itself, but it does feel a little bit more darker. It kind of has this whole Boardwalk Empire feel to it. It does have all the elements, the old-timey feel, but those mysterious magical elements to it are really cool to see. So some of the things I noticed on the walls, like the wallpaper, super themed. The mirrors, there's like a wall of mirrors on the wall, different bookcases with different elements to add to it. It was just really cool vibe that was going on in there. The name itself, I think, is cool. Abracadabra.
It's a good pun.
I mean, right? Yeah, it's a pun. And then just the drink names themselves, they tie to the whole clever name of the bar. I mean, some of the things on their menu are the Parlor Trick, the Pepper's Ghost, Magic Hatton. I think those are really fun plays on the words there, and really added to the whole, magic shop type of.
I never realized how much this would fit into DCA 1.0.
The puns, right? It was so good. The Magic Hatton.
They missed their opportunity.
But even though it has these silly puns that actually work really well for this bar, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. The bar is not cheesy. Something with the name of Abracadabra, you would think walking into it, there'd be a lot of cheesiness or a lot of gimmicky things in there. But it's ornate. It's elegant. I think they did a good job with that bar without having to kind of dumb it down.
All right, so number one on our list of resort bars is actually one that we never even intended on going to in the first place. It was the California Grill Lounge at the Contemporary. We were pretty much just killing time, and we went in there and we're like, hey, let's see if we can get into the lounge upstairs, because, like I said, we were killing time. Well, the people at the desk said that, if you show up around the time where the restaurant just opens, is usually no wait at all. And so we asked them, and sure enough, we went up there, and little did I know that, just asking a simple question, something like that, would end up turning into one of my favorite experiences I've ever had on Disney property, for multiple reasons. The view alone up there was spectacular. We had a table right by the windows. The drinks were excellent. That's the first place I had ever had a blue cheese olive. That's the first place I ever had a martini. Now, I'll say I wasn't a fan of the martini, but the blue cheese olive was fantastic. But that wasn't even enough to just damper my whole thing, because the whole experience was fantastic. When you're up there and you get to see the sunset, over the lake, and that's something you don't forget. And not only that, you can go out on the little outside walkway area, which, the view is even more spectacular when you're outside getting to look at it. But on top of that too, we never expected anything else from this. Like, we thought once we were done, that was it. But we were told that if we just held on to the receipts that we had, we could come back later on that evening and come upstairs and watch the fireworks, which we did not expect at all. To me, that was one of the highlights, because it's funny about this, because we got to see the holiday fireworks. That's something you usually have to pay for, and we didn't have to. Not only that, we saw the holiday fireworks twice on this trip. Both times we didn't have to pay for it. And
we got to see with music each time.
When you're out, yes, and when you're out there on that building and you hear the fireworks, you see the fireworks, and I'll post a video on my my Instagram, but I have the the grand finale from that fireworks show, where you have the fireworks in the round and you're seeing it outside from the top of one of the tallest hotels on property. You truly cannot beat that. It's one of the greatest experiences I've ever had at Walt Disney World, and it's going to be very hard to top that.
Yeah, Matt, it was even difficult for us to leave. I think we had to go somewhere else, or did we have reservations somewhere? But it was difficult for us to even leave. We wanted to stay and have another drink, but it was nice coming back and being able to watch the fireworks from that veranda, or that, the kind of the rooftop up there, and they blast that music. So it's nice that it's not like on a delay, or it's not like you're just hearing the music from the park. So that was fantastic. But you're right, that sunset was incredible, and it's something I will never forget. And it's nice how it's like it's set right behind the Grand Floridian. It was just a perfect evening, and service was good. And it's nice to be up in a place like that, where you're just kind of wearing your shorts, nothing fancy, but you feel like you're in a fine dining establishment, because you technically are. But it's nice to be able to have these type of experiences on a trip, where you go from just going through a theme park or walking around a resort to having a totally different type of experience, where it's something that we're all grateful for being able to do together. And it's definitely gave us some memories that will last us a lifetime.
Kind of the two extremes, right?
Yeah.
Slumming around, not slumming, but walking around in a theme park and,
Right.
sweating and hot. And then you go to this amazing experience where you feel like everything's posh and luxurious, and you get to experience that too, all in the same day.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and part of that too was, everything about Walt Disney World, and I'm not knocking it, but you have to plan it out, right? Like, everything is just, one part to the next, exactly what you're doing. But this was just like where the stars aligned perfectly, where we didn't plan this at all, but we went there at the exact right time to get a spot right at sunset, to make it in time for, the fireworks that were coming on, the drinks, just everything just worked so well, which I think led to that perfect, memorable experience.
One perfect spontaneous moment. I mean, I
Exactly.
didn't get to experience it, but it sounds like it's great.
So we'll go into a couple places or a few places we haven't been to, but we did want to include on the list. We'll start with the Enchanted Rose over at the Grand Floridian. This was formerly Misner's Lounge, which was very meh, right? I mean, for me, it worked. It was fine, but it was small and there wasn't much to the decor. I mean, it worked for Grand Floridian because it was just nice, but it wasn't anything special. So they had this huge expansion, and they announced for the Enchanted Rose to go in there, which was Beauty and the Beast kind of themed. I mean, it was more themed to just elegant French design, I would say. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. A lot of people online, including I think myself, was kind of like, well, why are we putting in something Beauty and the Beast into Grand Floridian, a Victorian themed hotel, and we're going totally French? So it doesn't really make much sense. However, the new bar is far more ornate and exquisite than the Misner's Lounge. And I think for that aspect alone, it fits better into that space. Plus, more people can get there. It definitely has a better vibe. But we haven't been there yet. I'm just basing it off of what we've seen in pictures and everything. But I think it's definitely deserving. And I did want to read this real quick from the Disney World website. So it's step into a realm of elegance and wonder and lounge in 4 sophisticated spaces themed after the Disney live action film. Visit this signature lounge for an evening of enchantment where you can order exquisite appetizers like white sturgeon, caviar, crab and gnocchetti gratin, truffle fries, and more. The bar itself glows from the light of magnificent golden chandelier inspired by Belle's flowing ball gown. Delightful details from beloved fairy tale are infused through the lounge. The formal library showcases classical Baroque designs and French furnishings, while the whimsical garden room represents the forest surrounding Beast Castle. For those who prefer to sit under the stars, the outdoor patio evokes the beauty and romance of Beast Garden Terrace. So, obviously, it sounds magnificent. It just doesn't make sense for the Grand Floridian.
Is this the lounge that's right next to Victoria and Albert's? Is that
yes.
right there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kind of in between the two, like the walkway over.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they have at least they used to have the band play right outside of Misner's. I know they've been playing on the lobby floor for a little bit. I don't know if that's temporary. The stage they were on looked temporary. So I don't know if they were doing some work upstairs, but hopefully they can have a better permanent spot.
I feel like something that's right next to Victoria and Albert's deserves to be elegant. So hopefully this fits that, at least that theme.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I get what you're saying about like flipping over to a different European country, but I do think it fits into the whole elegance vibe of the Grand Floridian overall. And, given what was there prior, I don't think that bar or lounge actually even lived up to the elegance of the Grand Floridian.
Definitely not.
It felt like a Holiday Inn bar.
Yeah, I was dating.
Knock on Holiday Inn. Yeah. So I think that this is a definite step in the right direction, and I am eager to check it out next time we get to go.
And then you'll just complain about how it doesn't look like actual France. I've been to French bars that look better than this.
Touché.
Well, and then another one we wanted to talk about was the Three Bridges Bar and Grill at the Coronado Springs Resort. This is something that was built, with the expansion they've done there with the tower. And so for this one, Disney put on their website just saying, your story unfolds at a lakefront restaurant inspired by dreamers, adventurers, and explorers. Like Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, the Three Bridges Bar and Grill at Villa del Lago evokes a bygone era in which intersecting travelers shared epic tales over food and drink. Taking sweeping views of Lago Dorado from converging bridges, all three connecting Villa del Lago, a mirage-like island of one-story buildings with the resort. Seekers arrive at this crossroads in search of the fabled seven cities of gold or a romantic lakefront dinner. So everything we've seen online, I think, shows that, this is something I think all four of us would really enjoy. It has some great food, obviously some great drinks as well, and I am excited to experience this one.
Me too. This actually reminds me of a place that I ate on my honeymoon. at the Grand Wailea, the Humu Humu. It's kind of like out on the middle of the lake you have to take a bridge path to get to it. And that whole experience of walking out onto a bridge and eating directly on the water was so enjoyable. So I'm very excited. And as soon as I saw this was happening, I immediately wanted to try it. So I'm excited to try it once we can get back and experience these things.
I will say I really do want to go to Coronado next time. I actually would not mind staying there.
Me neither.
On one of my future trips, I know most Disney fans don't like it, but I really like the Gran Destino.
The updates look beautiful.
I love it.
And I would love to stay there.
Yeah, no, I was sold once they finished it. I'm all for it now.
I'd give it a whirl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Sounds like a
Let's
plan.
do it. Gran Destino 2021.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
And we also put on here the Top of the World bar at Bay Lake Tower. Beth confused this for the Outer Rim when she sent me over her list.
I was like, the Top of the World. It's like, you've been there? Oh, wait, no, sorry. I meant Outer Rim. Very different.
Very different.
Way less exciting.
But I think the California Grill used to be called Top of the World. But so I can understand some confusion with that. But this one is for DVC members only. So hopefully I'll be able to get to go there.
I mean, we know a DVC member now. Hey,
We
Jen.
do.
How's it going?
We would all love to come with you.
Yeah, invite us. We love you,
'Cause
Jen. Happy
only-
belated birthday.
Yeah, happy belated.
Yay, happy belated.
It's for reserved members and their guests who are staying on that member's reservation only. So they make it sound like it's pretty difficult to get in. I know a lot of people have made it that I know are not DVC members. So hopefully it's not as challenging as they're making it out to be. But I look forward to going to that. And then finally is the Barcelona Lounge we put on here. But I did also want to add the Dahlia Lounge on the 16th floor at the Gran Destino Tower. So the Barcelona Lounge impresses with amazing lake views of Lago Dorado, eclectic patterns, and a brilliant stained glass wall behind the bar. A magnificent chandelier framed by sculpted columns brings to mind a glistening sun. From the pictures I've seen, the place looks very ornate, looks fantastic. So hopefully we could go to that soon.
It's very reminiscent of Barcelona.
Oh
Barcelona.
my God. Moving on.
Barcelona.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Javier.
And then the lounge on the 16th floor. I mean, I think everyone's listening to this have probably seen some pictures of it. But I mean, you pour over it's on the website. It says, pour over details such as the dandelion chandeliers and metal bell accents. Ceiling coffers contain swirling patterns reminiscent of flowing hair. Architecturally, Spanish modernism prevails, mirroring the general look of the resort. And everything I've seen from this, especially the views, absolutely stunning. I have to go there on my next visit.
I mean, I will accept a lot of mistakes from a bar if they have an amazing view.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can give me a great view, you can get away with a lot more. So if you can combine the two, like a great bar with a great view, even better.
So obviously, I think it's apparent that our next trip will be drunk the entire time, as there's a lot of bars we need to go to and a lot of bars we want to revisit. But with that, let us know online which ones we've missed and the ones that should absolutely have not been left off of this list. I'm sure there's plenty. There's only so much we could put on here, and I'll admit, there's a lot that we have not been to, and we look forward to visiting all of them. Until our next happy hour, find us on social media. Beth, where can people find us online?
You guys can find us. You can find the show itself. We are at Off Harbor on both Twitter and Instagram. You can find myself, Beth, on both Twitter and Instagram at Pixie Dust Vibes. Matthew is on Twitter at ST14012Endor and on Instagram at Lightspeed2Endor. You can find Joel on Twitter at Tangaroa Joel and on Instagram at OC Escapism. Derick, you will never find him. He is a ghost. He is a myth like the Yeti. Who knows where he
Can't
is?
find me.
Well, thank you, Beth. This has been a lot of fun, everybody. I truly hope everyone has enjoyed listening to this week's show. Hopefully you found some good bars to visit, and hopefully we'll find out about some new ones from some of our listeners. But if you're liking us so far, please don't hesitate to share amongst your friends. And of course, leave us an Apple Podcast review. It really helps bring visibility to the show. Regardless, we truly can't thank you enough for listening. And with that, until our next chat, remember we all share the common bonds of hope and sorrow, dreams and joys. Stay well, and Ziki Zaki, Ziki Zaki.
Oi, oi, oi.
By using our new communication tools to build better bridges between us, we will discover we all share the common bonds of hope and sorrow, dreams and joys.
It's just a great spot to kind of relax for a while. And
Uh-oh.
we lost Derick.
I assumed you guys saw the text message. His computer crashed.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, no.
No.
So with further ado, here are, in no particular order again, our 11 top WDW, or sorry, our top...
Wait. Before you continue, you said with further ado.
Did I say with?
Yes.
With further ado.
Before you continue,
Let's talk about
I'll
this.
let you fix it.
What is... How do you add ado?
We have the cruise. Isn't it Club Lounge?
Yes, it's cup.
Yes.
It's cup.
Did you do this, Matt?
I did not do that.
And Joel's still at Animal Kingdom Lounge.
Yeah.
Cruise Cub.
So number 7 is the Cruise. Wow.
Croobs.
Why does it say Boardwalk Inn too at the end?
I don't know.
You wrote it. I don't know why, but you guys know how my brain works.
It
For
doesn't.
some reason, when I started reading, wow.
Stay well, and Ziki Zaki, Ziki Zaki.
Oi.
Oi.
What? Oh my god, how can you be so bad? You're like
It
you
sounds the
bent-
same.
No, what sounds the same?
I mean, it's all together.
No, Joel's gonna do it one more time. I'm looking at you, both of you. What are you sniffing?
I did it.
What are you sniffing?
It's the same.
Why are you sniffing something?
Are you doing 3 oys,
Yeah, it's oi.
Derek?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me do this again.
If you already hear the
Amateur
late,
hour
don't
over
add
here.
another one on. Okay. Ziki Zaki, Ziki Zaki.
Oi.
Oi.
Are
Cheers.
you
Cheers.
kidding me?
Is it
He's doing it on
Derek?
purpose.
No.
He's trying to be funny.
It sounds the same.
He's like,
It's
no
the
one can
same.
come at me
What's
on
the same?
Instagram and what do you mean?
We're in unison.
Except you
Me and Beth were.
Yeah.
end with another oi when they're done.
No, it's 3 O's.
Yeah, it's 3 oys. What are you doing?
Oi.
Okay, try it again. Just say the
There
Ziki
we
Zaki part.
gosh.
Just Ziki Zaki.
Ziki Zaki, Ziki Zaki.
Oi.
Oi.
See, Matt's late. And Beth's frozen.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
The very end.